Ready? Call meeting to order. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone. Is there any, start the meeting off with public comment. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, we will go on. Let's see. We have mail here from the Department of Agriculture. Opportunity to object to the Middleman project, the Middleman project. This is a project taking place on in the Magpie area. You got 45 days for comments. This is our annual letter from the DEQ telling us we're out of compliance at the silos, which we get every year because we're closed down for 4 months and they haven't seemed to got that figured out yet.
Well, it keeps us in contact.
And this is a letter from the Lewis and Clark County Public Works for and the contract for the landfilling at Lewis and Clark. Notification that this contract is up June 30th, 2021, and unless mutually agreed to renew or extend the agreement prior to the termination date. So we're working on that process. See, I have claims in the amount of $118,801.33.
I'll move to accept the claims as submitted.
I will second.
Motion's been made and second to approve claims as submitted. Any further discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Another claim for the amount of $48,000.
I'll move to pay the claims and set them out. I'm sorry, last page.
I will second that motion.
Motion's been made and second to pay approved claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. We have minutes from January 25th, 2021.
I'll move to pay the minutes from January 25th, 2021.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve minutes of January 25th, 2021. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. See, the next item on the agenda is Department Heads Update, Jessica Bushnell, County Weed and Mosquito Coordinator.
Good morning.
Morning.
Jessica.
So, last year we applied for a WIP grant and were awarded $422,000 for that project. That goes through 2025. We were also awarded a $20,000 grant from the Noxious Weed Trust Fund for the North Elkhorns. Looking at our seasonal jobs, I think I'm going to apply for 2 Conservation Corps interns that'll work on mapping for the summer because I want to do a project in the belts for another WIP project to tie into that Middleman project.
Okay, I have a question on that, I guess, Jessica. So this year,
looking forward, are we gonna be able to have our guys out spraying weeds?
That's my intention,
Okay.
is that we're gonna actually staff a crew.
Okay.
You know, we had staffing problems last year. We offered the position. It was turned down by 2 people, so.
Right. And we ended up contracting
Yep.
last, and it still worked for us, but.
Yep.
okay.
No, my goal is to have a crew out spraying.
Okay.
So we're also working on the job description and getting that through the board and then out a lot earlier this year than
Right.
COVID let us do last
Right,
year.
yeah, perfect.
So, nope, I'm hoping to have a crew of 2 to 3 out in the field this summer.
Okay, good, thanks.
And then for the mosquito district, we're still looking at that expansion. And then, again, we didn't get our seasonal day person for mosquito. We just had our nighttime fogger. And then we did run into a little bit of issues with education on how our new fogger works. Basically, it's quieter, and so people think it's not running when it's running, and then they hear it turn louder when it's not running. And they're not sure why that is. And then we're also allowed to go a lot faster. We can go between 3 and 25. And so we just need more education on how it works, why it works. And then we did get a software upgrade that'll let us map every spot the fogger is for their whole route, so we can pull up a day and a time and have that ready to go if anybody ever questions.
Are you still planning to pursue the expansion of the
Yes.
district?
Yep, we're still looking at that. I think our next step is surveying boundaries. I think that's what we decided at the last mosquito board meeting, is boundary survey.
Okay.
And kind of get that ironed out so we can put together a initiative or whatever we need to vote on.
Sure. Okay, good. Have you had a chance to talk with folks that were on our mosquito board last year?
I have not touched base with them yet this year.
Okay.
Um,
I guess if you could do that, see if they're still interested in coming
Yep.
back, and,
I think when we finished up last year, they were both interested in continuing,
yeah, all right,
so.
perfect.
And I think the other thing maybe would benefit us is advertising our board positions for mosquito during mosquito season. Might get a little more interest in it. People aren't thinking about mosquitoes in November, December.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Any other questions?
Is the silos recreation area, is that part of your spray area or not?
Not for mosquitoes.
Okay.
Nope, it is just out of our boundary.
Mhm. I guess maybe just in a form of education, what, maybe talk about your plan, what,
So, depending on the COVID situation and our restrictions, having a couple of education days tied in with both weed and mosquito landowner events. Do one in the north end, one in the middle, one in the south end, and kind of what to look for weeds, and then how demonstrate the mosquito truck with just mineral oil,
okay.
because I can run that and show the fog without putting the chemical in the air.
All right, sounds good. And then as far as for the district, maybe talk about a little bit what your thoughts are, what your plan is.
So I think we're looking at going from where the current north boundary in the mosquito district is, up all the way to basically the county line with Lewis and Clark, and incorporate the silos, the Winston, and then all those subdivisions right at that boundary. Tie all of those landowners in.
Okay.
It's just figuring out the kind of east-west boundary that's.
All right.
And you have a weed board meeting this
Wednesday.
All right. Yeah, sorry how that worked out, but
Yeah.
anyway, probably for
Nope.
the best.
Oh, everybody was able to be there but one guy, and
Okay.
we'll just move our board moving forward so that he's able to attend, so.
Right. And then from here on, you'll be able to get back to your regular day. And,
Yeah, I think we'll have to, looks like we're gonna talk about moving it to the second Wednesday.
okay.
But we'll discuss that and make sure it works for everybody,
Okay.
but.
Oh,
one of-
really? Because we just had the airport board move their normal day, so it didn't conflict with you.
Oh, no, because one of the members is committed the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of every month to
Okay.
an ambulance commitment.
All right. Well, let us know.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have to, we can switch back. main thing, we don't have a conflict here
Yeah.
with our meetings, so. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, with having a significant number of new board members, we gotta,
Okay, perfect.
so. Anything else, you guys?
If I don't, thanks, Jess.
All right.
All right, thank
Glad
you,
to see
guys.
that you're healthy again.
I
Thank
know,
you.
it's nice to be able to walk.
Yeah.
Next, Mike Myers, County Maintenance Supervisor.
No snow.
I know.
I'm just working on RFPs and on the generator grant and the security right now, and cybersecurity stuff with Mako, and there's various other little things. But we have had no snow. We might be starting excavation early because of it.
So that process coming along pretty good? If
Yeah.
You're getting
I'm getting a
of
lot.
interested vendors?
A lot.
Okay.
I'm spending all my time the last 3 weeks, pretty much
Okay.
2-3 people a day. Had a video conference this morning, also met with another person this morning. So yes, I've had quite a bit of interest.
Okay. And when are those RFPs due?
The 5th, this
Fifth?
Friday.
5th for this? Okay, good.
Yep, then we open on the 16th, and then I'll have to make a committee. I was gonna volunteer Mike. And a couple, and somebody else, and we'll go through the RFPs and then narrow it down, and then maybe, talk to a few of them, interview a couple of them, and see what we wanna go from there.
All right. How about our facilities? How are they doing? How are they holding up?
They're doing good. Everything's doing pretty good. Senior center's doing real well. There's a couple little repairs here and there, normal wear and tear type stuff. Dishwasher, HVACs. We go through them every month, all the cars, everything every month. We had one HVAC last month, I think, went down on the detention center side, and repaired that, and that's about it.
Okay. Hey, one time you mentioned fire control systems.
Yep.
Kind of maybe talk to us about where we're at with those.
Pretty much, we need to make a decision to replace the 2 fire controls in the sheriff's department and in the courthouse. They're out of date.
Okay.
And I know that you talked about putting money aside for that. So it's time to do that whenever you give me the thumbs up.
Okay.
And the roof, we had that insurance damage on the sheriff's roof, which were this way too much to try to change from a rubber roof to a pitched roof. So this spring we'll go start working on getting that. It's too early right now to deal with that and get a new roof put on there with the insurance, because I don't want to be too far out, because if it goes to more money than the insurance covered, then we have to come up with it. If we're in that time frame, which we still are, they'll still pick up the remainder of the insurance cost.
Okay.
So we need to do that this spring. Those are the only major things I can see.
Right.
Everything else is running pretty good, except for the beacon. I gotta go up there and get some new bulbs for up there, climb up to the top of the tower, top of the earth.
It's a great view from up there, that's for sure.
Yep.
The generator replacement,
Mhm.
do you expect that to be like midsummer sometime, early summer?
I was thinking it would be probably finished by about September, but I'm thinking with this way the ground is and everything, and everybody's talking with all these other projects going on all around here. The hospital, the school, Rocky Mountain Supply, and St. Pete's, they're all swarming on this place. So it sounds like we might be moving here in March,
Okay.
end of March on it.
All right.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this town.
Yeah, there is. We're growing.
Yep.
The sidewalk in front of the courthouse, and then where they poured that new sidewalk out in the very front.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything we can do with that lip on the new sidewalk?
You have to show
Where
it
the
to-
frosty, I mean, if you go out there and look where the chain is right now, you
Yep.
got about a 3.5 inch lip in there.
We'd have to remove and match it up.
Okay.
And we were talking about removing that front section anyways, that one with it's all deteriorated, the concrete
Yeah.
and where that, it was getting pretty bad to
Yeah.
let people walk through there.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
Sometime here this spring, probably before the ground gets too moist, I was gonna go in there and tear that all out.
Is that, you got somebody on a contract on that, or are you gonna do that?
I'll probably end up just tearing it out.
Okay.
It's hard to find anybody moving along. And we'll just find a concrete contractor and let them pour. Or I will.
okay. I guess I just thought of something maybe to keep in mind is, our contract with the family medical will be finished in July or June, right?
Yep.
So that building will have to determine what we're gonna have to do with that to, to preserve it until we decide what's gonna happen with it.
Mhm.
So, I just,
Sounds like we might be losing a whole bunch of parking. So I don't know what
Okay.
we're gonna wanna do.
okay,
So we'll have to discuss that.
okay,
Figure out what you wanna do with it, if you wanna turn that whole area into parking for county, cause we don't have quite enough room, and then I don't know what their expansion is on the hospital. How big they're gonna go. I don't know
that's
the
something that
whole-
they're gonna start this spring.
Yeah. They're bidding it right now.
All right,
I know people have been over there bidding it the last few weeks, last week,
very good.
so. That it?
Ellen, anything else?
Oh, I have.
I don't have anything else, no.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, we'll move on to our next, agenda item. Rocky Mountain Supply, Brad Jeremo and Robert Michael request lower the speed limit on a section of Highway 287.
My name is Brad Jermo, and of course, a lot of you probably know Robert, and I'm the CEO of Rocky. We did send you a letter along with a map, I believe, that kind of outlined our request and why we're making the request. Of course, it's probably the worst kept secret in Townsend about our project in relocating our store location. So, but anyway, we're making a request to essentially extend the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit from near Watson Irrigation farther south on 287, so that traffic is slowing down or slowed down going in front of our new site just for safety purposes. So, so as you say, Townsend is growing, and this is part of the process.
Sure.
And so anyway, I guess I'm here to answer any questions that you might have about this or anything else I can about the project. So
Well, I guess I'll give you a letter that the commission has sent to Department of Transportation.
oh,
So you
okay,
have that.
very good.
They
you.
they have that, and
Okay.
we received a response back from them that it's going to be submitted for the study, and their staff will be working on it, and they will keep us informed as to how that's going. So
Okay,
I think you guys are ahead of the game. That's good.
yeah. So, so yeah, I mean, we've gotten all of our permitting pretty well buttoned up to be able to move forward with it. So,
Mhm.
this is kind of the next step in that process.
Sure.
So,
I mean, maybe if you don't mind talking about it, I mean, people are probably interested to know a little bit about what your plans are as far as the size of the store and that kind
Well,
of stuff. And-
yeah, the footprint of the store is going to be 90 by 100. So it'll be 9,000 square feet, plus we will have some internal second story type space, mainly kind of meeting room, break room, offices, things like that, IT upstairs. So, and that's the main store, and then we're also going to have essentially adjacent to it 5,000 square foot warehouse for, bag feeds, pet foods, tubs, things of that nature. So, so retail space, it'll actually be, oh, what, Robert, 50 to 75% bigger than what we are today. Be about 7,500, 8,000 square feet, where today we're, what, Robert, about 5 maybe?
About 48 right now.
4,800. So, so yeah, it'll be significantly larger than what we are today to be able to expand our offerings a little bit and just make it an overall better experience. Obviously, you know, we're acquiring 7 acres, so we're going to have a lot more space for parking. Expand the fuel islands and have a separate diesel island that'll be built. You know, if you've ever been to our Townsend or Belgrade locations, there'll be a lot of similarities that you'll see, both the look, functionality, all that sort of thing. So, you know, much more expanded fencing yard, you know, for all the fencing products and things like that that we handle and sell. So, yeah, I think the fencing yard will be about an acre in total, so of the entire site. So, so yeah, we'll be expanding up to, I think, about 12 total fuel dispensing units, 4 on the gas side and 8 on the diesel side. We'll add bulk def. We're working through the process with the DEQ on a RV dump station.
Yep.
And that won't be tied into the septic, though. That'll just be a separate holding tank that will have pumped, you know, as needed, and hauled, I believe, to Helena. So, because they have the ability to handle that kind of waste. So no, we're excited about it. I mean, our Townsend store is growing, and as you say, Townsend is growing, and these projects have been very successful for us at other locations that we've done them. So this is just kind of all in part of the process of repositioning our company for the long term.
What's the time frame?
Well, we're hoping to start some site work here about the 1st of March. And obviously it's all going to be weather dependent. And completion, guessing roughly right now, sometime in October, hopefully the first half of October. So it's about a 6.5 month timeline. So, so yeah, it'll be busy there south of town all summer. So, but obviously won't have any real impact on the operations of our existing site, which will be nice, you know, because in other projects we've done store remodels, and that obviously creates a bit of a challenge in continuing to serve customers through a remodel. So, so this is going to be different in that respect. So. Don't have any specific plans today as to what we're going to do with the old site. We will have to tear up the fuel tanks and get rid of the fuel dispensers and that as soon as we vacate. That'll be a DEQ requirement.
They're required to do that.
Yeah, and but certainly we'll kind of keep you informed as to our plans going forward with the existing site. So, So yeah, we just basically determined we just didn't have enough space where we're at, you know, as I think maybe some of you guys experience. Just
Yes.
parking and this traffic flow, the whole thing. So, but no, we're excited about it, looking forward to it.
Well, great. Well, thank you, Brad.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Barbara, thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, this 10:30 decision, community development planning, Nicole Brown boundary relocation, Grovem and Everson. Where's Nicole? See, we're 5 minutes early. Do we want to go ahead with Corey and then?
We can do that.
We can go ahead with you,
Do you think
Corey, and
mine's
we'll
going to
wait,
take 5
we'll
minutes?
shift Nicole back.
I brought copies of the documents that you guys already have, just in case
Okay.
anyone wants them.
her.
Am I reading through them?
Maybe not.
Since there's only two people here, I'm gonna hand them out to the two people that are here.
Well,
So,
Oh, I want Nicole to.
it's up to you. What do you wanna do?
Okay.
You want to switch to Nicole?
Nicole, you want to go ahead and then we're ready for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know which one is on the agenda first. Kurtz or Grovem?
Grovem and Everson's first.
Okay. So each of you have this,
Yes.
Yep.
and I printed out an aerial photo of the area in question here.
Oh, okay.
So that,
Oh,
that
it
helps to
does.
understand why they needed that for better access to their garage. So, it looks as if it's right on the property line there.
Yes, it does.
And according to their affidavit for this boundary relocation, it's to relocate common boundary lines to allow for better access to existing house garage. And that's pretty evident by that photo.
So it looks to me like their access road is not on their property line anyway, is it?
Well,
Or is it?
it most likely is.
Okay.
That's taken from cadastral, which is not survey grade.
Okay.
It shows an approximate
Okay.
location of the boundaries, so. I just brought that more as a representation, showing the proximity of the house to the property line.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the boundary relocation for Everson and Grovem, Lazy HM Estates?
I will move to accept the boundary location for Grovem.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion been made and second to approve the boundary relocation for Grovem Everson. Is there any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. You want that back?
Yeah.
And the next boundary relocation is for,
Johnny Kurtz and Lamar Kaufman.
okay.
So each of you, do you have your copy with you on this one as well, and the affidavit? I highlighted on mine, this is a boundary location between Johnny Kurtz and Lamar Kaufman off of River Road. Pink is the former boundaries as they used to be, or as they are, I suppose I should say, it's not recorded yet. And yellow is the new. So this portion here is being sold
to this property owner here, to Lamar's property. So Johnny's giving up some property and Lamar will be gaining. And according to their exemption request here, Mr. Kurtz states, my neighbor wants to buy 120 acres. So they are requesting a boundary line adjustment.
And I did call and talk with Lamar. And yeah, he's just picking up some more farm ground, so.
So is this small triangle piece, is this not involved in it?
That's not, no,
Okay.
that's not involved. Different landowner.
See, we need to, we need to sign this other one for Grove and Etherson, right?
I'll give you my copy.
The affidavit page?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. You got one.
I do, yeah, just keep in mind to pass around, thank you.
So is there a motion to approve the Kurtz Kaufman boundary relocation?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to approve the Kurtz Kaufman boundary relocation.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Motion been made and second to approve the Kurtz Kaufman boundary relocation. Any discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks, Nicole.
Okay, Corey.
So the commission last budget cycle, last summer, authorized a part-time deputy county attorney and funding for that position. And depending on how much money we pay them, it would either be 20 or 24 hours a week, depending on, like I said, experience and all that. So we started advertising that probably in August. I've had one person apply for the job right before Christmas, and I contacted her, and she was, I think, would have been well qualified, and we were setting up the interview process, and then she notified me that she had a different job and was not going to pursue her application. And a big part of that apparently was that this was a part-time job and she wanted a full-time job. I've had another person inquire about it and discovering it was a part-time job, said, sorry, I can't do that. And I think that's really the difficulty of a part-time lawyer as an employee in Townsend. It's pretty hard to get somebody to do that. As we've talked about with the crime rate that we're seeing, last year I filed 61 cases in district court, most ever. I think before I came here, 45 was the most ever filed in a year. It was either 45 or 48, but every year it just keeps going up. The year before that was 53, which I thought was crazy. So we're just seeing a never-ending. We're seeing an increase in crime. Everyone is, but I feel like we are seeing a lot of that is fueled by drugs, specifically methamphetamine. We also are having I don't know that it's more than normal, but it's at least as much as normal, and that is drive-through crime or crimes that are, people from outside of Broadwater County are coming in here and not behaving well. We had some real significant ones over the summer at the campgrounds. And so I think that's not going to change. I mean, the campgrounds becoming, and the lakes becoming more popular than ever, and our highways, the traffic is going up every year. So that just comes with the territory of where we're situated geographically. So long story short, I think what I've discovered, and I know I communicated this certainly with Commissioner Folkford, and I think all of you to some extent, is what's happened, I've found over the past 7 months in particular, is I've found myself not doing so much criminal stuff that I'm not doing a lot of stuff for the commission at all. I have a couple of big civil cases, one of which is going to the Supreme Court. The Conservation District one, we won that, and they've appealed it. The Schmaus case, we finally finished that thing, and I don't think he's refiling that. The Two Brothers Tires case, we won that. That was a big civil case, and now we're in the process of getting court orders for the cleanup. So we've had 2020 was a year when we had some really heavy-duty civil cases, and right now on the horizon, I don't see. I see one or two that we're kind of doing research and talking to people, but I don't see us getting sued instantly in the near future. And that's a positive thing for us, I think, to get some breathing room and get caught up on just a lot of housekeeping things that we need to do. And I think you need a counsel, an attorney who's really responsive and here every time you have a meeting and do work sessions. And the idea would be ideally you get a chance to give them something, say, here's what we're working on for the next couple months. Research is done, documents are drafted, everything's been vetted by the time you come to the meeting. And I don't think that that's going to happen unless I get some help, is what it comes down to, really. I mean, I went through my list last week, and so I have 128 active cases right now that are criminal cases as of Friday, but I have another about 10 or 15 that are active that I haven't reviewed and approved. They're misdemeanors, and then I have about 15 felony cases that have come to me that I'm reviewing for filing. So it's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. That's all there is to it. So what I've recommended is if we can find the money, I think we're not going to get a good qualified applicant to come in this door and help on a part-time basis. And if you can find the money, and if we can do a full-time deputy county attorney, it would be a job that I would expect would be probably 60% civil, 40% criminal, meaning misdemeanor prosecution for the first several months, and then it'd probably still be 50-50 for foreseeable future, depending on how efficient they start getting. They might pick up some oddball district court cases, but primarily what I'm looking for is the ability to have a dedicated counsel that can take care of all the things that we're doing. And I think one of the areas where I would like to see, if I can get somebody in here and really get them totally integrated in this process, I would like to see them become an expert in land use planning. I think in conjunction with what we're doing with updating subdivision regulations and all that, there's the growth that we're seeing in the county I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. And I think that would be something that would be an investment that would pay off for us 100 times. So that's my recommendation.
That's kind of, my thoughts too, Corey, as we move along here. I know that we seem to be having a lot more civil issues related to subdivisions.
Yeah.
That we need advice on, and I'm thinking about in the future the Forest Service roads issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's once we get into that, we know that's going to take some more.
Yeah.
Some more time.
Well, and there's another road that the Forest Service has told me about, and on the east end that they're still researching, but same deal. It's going to be a fight, and it's going to take some time to dig into that.
Yeah.
So.
And it not only applies just to the commission, but it applies to I think to the other departments, other staff members that need your help on,
Mhm.
Nicole and even finance and Doug have had questions for you, so.
Yeah.
Doesn't just benefit us, it benefits our whole county staff.
And so the documents that I've handed out that a couple of people and you have in front of you, so I'll just run through them. There's 3 Excel spreadsheets. The first 2 were just the example kind of worksheets that Debbie Kelly prepared for the budget last summer for a part-time deputy county attorney at a couple different pay rates and a couple different hourly wage rates. The third one, the one that's got some purple boxes in it, was the worksheet she prepared for a deputy county attorney for a full-time basis. And I think what you can see when you look at these is that, number one, so you approve the money in the budget effective July 1, which we haven't used it because we haven't hired anyone. So it's been vacant for half the fiscal year now. By the time, if we get someone hired, it'll be more than that. So I think you could authorize a full-time deputy county attorney. We can figure out the pay rate here and not have to spend any more money this budget year because we've got that half a year of vacancy savings. And going forward, I have applied for a COVID grant to assist with the deputy county attorney. Haven't heard anything. Haven't even got a grant number. Brooke's got an upcoming meeting with Board of Crime Control to work on her grant, and so she's going to inquire and find out where they are in the process. But the Board of Crime Control, I don't know if they've acted this year at all because a lot of their memberships expired and the new members had to be appointed by the governor. And I've been watching the confirmations, and I don't know that any of those have even been confirmed yet. So they may not be acting right away because they may not have a quorum. So if suddenly we were to get a grant that came out of the sky, I think that would, be a welcome thing that we could adjust. But either way, that I think that's a 1-year deal, and I think long term we're going to have to probably find something other than COVID relief funds because I think at some point those are going to run out. So the number, there's 2, if you're looking at the third sheet, the purple boxes sheet, there's the middle category, and it showed a deputy county attorney at it would be an annual salary of 68, just almost 68,000, and then the total cost for the county for the year is 80,000. The bottom one had the example if it was just under 80,000 for their salary, and the total cost for the county is 94,000. So I've been watching the advertisements for lawyers statewide, and there's advertisements out there in terms of beginning deputy county attorneys, beginning public defenders, beginning deputy city attorneys. I think if you authorize in that range, if you look at that bottom one, 68,000 and not as high as the bottom one. If you went 68,000 to 75,000 as their salary, I think that's competitive. I think I can probably get a good person in the door here. So anyway, that's what I'm recommending and requesting, and I guess I'll leave it to your thoughts on how we could do that.
Well, I did talk with Debbie Kelly, and that middle section where you're talking there, the salary 67,800, but the total cost of around $80,000 a year. She said that would be sustainable next year given our current budget. She did say that's something that we could do.
Corey, you have office space up there, and then you'll have to purchase computers and stuff?
Yeah, we have an office space. So this grant we applied for, we applied for in addition to the, kind of separately from the salary of potentially helping with someone that's doing COVID stuff. And by the way, if we hire someone, I expect that would be something they would do, is advising the Board of Health on COVID, et cetera. We applied for equipment because we found that when we had quarantine and we were working from home, we didn't have the equipment we needed. We had a scanning problem, we had a printing problem, and so we included a grant to also purchase equipment that if we got that would potentially purchase the equipment needed for this new attorney. So that's, if that doesn't happen, then I would have to I might need like $2,000 to hire, or to buy a couple of things for him or her, so. I guess I'll tell you the number I'm concerned about is I'm seeing some Helena, beginning lawyers in this right around 70,000. So I'm thinking, well, am I going to get, if it's 67,000, am I going to get a beginning lawyer to come out to Townsend if they can make 3,000 more a year and work in Helena? So I don't know if 70, or like I said, that range 70 to 75 is doable.
Is there any further discussion? Any other questions for Corey?
Corey, would you be more comfortable if the range was 67 or 68 to 75 versus on here you have 79?
Yeah, I don't think we need to go that high. I mean, I think that 68 to 75 is, I think, the range where, if it's someone who's literally brand new day one, then I'd put them at the 68 if they'll take the job. If it's someone that's got a few years under their belt, then and they're comfortable in the courtroom, and they're comfortable dealing with, I think responsibly managing tasks on their own. If we can give them a little bit more, they can be helpful.
Now I know, and you probably know, Corey, it won't affect us right away, but I know in statute there are required raises for the deputy county attorney. Is it starting year 5?
I've never looked at it because it was never a problem.
From reading my mind, I think it's starting year 5, but it may be sooner. Anyway, they are set.
There probably is. Yeah, I've honestly never looked at it.
Yeah. All right.
Do you want me to go grab that? I don't know if there's a
So
statute.
I don't think it's really going to affect our discussion for today, but
Do you have
I just know that it's there, and I want everybody to be aware of that. I did print it off, but I didn't bring it today. Well, I'm just trying to think about, the things that we know we need to do for next year as far as for some different salary increases and different things amongst elected officials. I'm probably more comfortable in that $70,000 range. But
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. So is that set, those raises after 5 years are set, or a flat rate, right?
Yeah.
So
it is.
much per year?
So much per year, and I can't remember, if it's a specific amount per year or per hour, I can't remember that.
I think it's a specific amount per year.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's not huge, it's, you know,
Yeah, here it is. This is 7-4-2503. 3C, sub 3, sub C. After completing 4 years of service as deputy county attorney, each deputy county attorney is entitled to an increase in salary of $1,000 on the anniversary date of employment as deputy county attorney. After completing 5 years of service, they're entitled to an additional increase of $1,500 on the anniversary date. After 6 years of service, and for each year of additional service up to the completion of the 11th year, entitled to additional annual longevity increase of $500 or greater. Anything beyond 11th year is up to the county compensation board. Okay.
so, I guess, just something for you to keep in mind,
Yeah.
as you develop your budget in these next coming years, you know.
If you want to do 70, let's give it a whirl. Let's do it. I'll see if I can lure someone in here. I mean, I will say one thing, we've got better health insurance than the state.
Well, that's just
By
it.
far. I know a lot of people that have had epic battles with the state insurance for paying things that our insurer pays without question.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's gonna matter.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I guess I was sitting here thinking, it's not only a service to our staff, but it's a service to our community. And I know a lot of times that, I hear from folks that they would like to feel that they have maybe more access to the county attorney's office, because you're busy and you don't get an opportunity to get back to them as quickly as you'd like to. So this could be an opportunity to help solve some of that. So is that gonna put that cost in the $85,000 range, the annual cost? Most, I'm just guessing, somewhere's in there. If we go
Yeah,
to,
so 68 is a total of 80, then 70 would be, yeah, probably. Because the 80,000 is at 94, so it's gonna be 85,000 or a little bit under that.
Mhm.
84.
right. How would this help our sheriff's office? I know sometimes they feel that they could use a little help in some
Well,
of the things.
I mean, since I've been here, we've added 3 officers, I think. And so and part of that is just, they're responding to what's in the community. So, but 3 more officers is cases from 3 more officers. So I think caseload goes up. There aren't a lot of civil things I do with them. There's a couple of contract reviews I do each year. I think training is probably one area where we've been a lot more ambitious in the training we wanted to do with law enforcement than we've actually gotten done. part of that is schedule, part of that is I always worry about to bring in all the officers, that costs them money to do overtime or something for a training night, so. And then part of it is just that, I think it takes some time to develop a really good training program for officers, and so that's certainly, from the part of it that's my role, that's an issue that I need to fix, but, I think what happens a lot of times is just in terms of prioritizing or triaging criminal cases, the felony cases always get the priority. Certain types of felony cases get a lot of intense scrutiny and detail, and there are certain types of cases where I will spend whatever time it takes. And so as a result of that, a lot of times the misdemeanor cases are the cases where you tend to make a deal and move them along. And, we have, part of it is trials. We haven't had a lot of trials since COVID. We had one end of December, and then we've had several that come right up to the edge, and then the person pleads guilty. So I think there's probably, I see more trials in justice court and district court in our future. It's kind of a weird thing that's happening. I mean, now Helena's having a lot of trials right now, and I think part of it is it's these cases that weren't going to settle, hard criminal cases that weren't going to settle, but they got delayed because of COVID, right? And now we're at a point where people have been in custody for 8 months, and you can't delay it any longer, and so what they're having is all those hard cases that would have gone to trial over the course of 14 months, they're all just crammed in one after another. And I've had 3 of those that were literally on the verge. I've had 4 of them that were on the verge. 2 of them, they fired their lawyers and they got an extension, and the other 2, right on the eve of trial, they pled guilty. But I've got a couple that they're just not going to go away, and we know it, and we're just going to take them through that. So that tends to, when I'm doing a district court trial for a assault with a weapon or a rape case, that's kind of an all-consuming thing for a few weeks. I think having a deputy lets me have that person keep plowing through all the other, the misdemeanors and the miscellaneous hearings and all those things. Because, if I'm doing trial, unless the house, is burning down, I say it's going to wait for 2 weeks till the trial's done. So.
Okay. I know you have the Barrs trial got postponed till September sometime.
Yeah, so we just got the order back last week on that. So the Barris trial got delayed from March to September 7th due to COVID. The Butte courthouse is different than the Helena courthouse. The Butte courthouse has only had 1 jury trial since COVID. And the Butte judge specifically requested that we not have the trial in March. And we were concerned about it anyway due to, vaccines not going to be really fully implemented till this summer, we think. And we're going to have a very large jury pool, and it's going to be a fairly long trial, so that's a concern.
It's going to take you out of the county for a month?
Yeah, it'll be we're expecting a 3-week trial, and probably that last month prior to is going to be nothing but Barris. Witness prep, final evidence, briefing, there'll be some final motions we do right before trial, the jury vetting process. So yeah, my expectation is all of August will be nothing but Barris, and then all of September will be nothing but Barris.
So we need somebody here to take care of the home front.
Yeah, someone's gonna have to mind the store. I hadn't that's far enough down the road. I hadn't figured out the logistics of that.
Right.
So I think there's some good news there. I don't really want to share publicly at this point, but I think there's some cost savings there in terms of trial strategy. I think we'll end up paying that trial's not going to cost as much as we thought. The other thing that's going on in the COVID world because of COVID is, there's more witnesses appearing on Zoom video for testimony rather than travel, so there may be some witness cost savings as well for both sides.
Sure.
So.
Okay.
Anyway.
Any other questions or anything for Corey? So I think that what we would have to do is have a motion to approve the deputy county attorney position from a part-time position to a full-time position. Is there a motion for that?
Yes, I'll make the motion to approve, or to, I don't know if this gets us to approve a full-time deputy county attorney position from the part-time position. I would like to keep that salary capped at the $70,000 range, realizing that with total benefits, it's probably still going to cost us about $85,000.
Is there a second?
I will second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to move the part-time county attorney position to a full-time position with the salary cap of $70,000 and including benefits to $85,000. Is there any further discussion? Any comments? Yes.
So, if it's all right with you, I'll probably advertise it as 67,000 to 70,000, depending on experience. Does that sound fine?
Yep.
That's great.
Any other comments? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you, Corey.
All right, thank you.
We'll go ahead and work with Debbie
I will.
on that. And,
We'll get going on it.
so we have that. This is all kind of ready for next year's budget as well.
Speaking of which, it's February. Do we need to start scheduling like county compensation board in April, or how far out do you guys want to do that?
I think sooner is always good. We just got the information from MACO that the CPI is 1.2% for this year. So. Okay.
All right.
Anything else? If not, we will adjourn at 11:04.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Did you get my email?
Thanks,
on
Shirley.
Thank you.
See you later.
On that contract? I'm gonna put that on next Monday. Is that too soon?
Or